So the two types of solopreneurs are one solopreneur is a master craftsman, and the other kind of solopreneur is a orchestra director. And I was actually the latter. So when I started to learn glass, and still present day, 18 years later, I've never installed a piece of shower glass. And a couple of my buddies launched their businesses as solopreneurs with no employees, where they were the orchestra directors. And there's pros and cons to being a solopreneur, and there's pros and cons to be a solopreneur that's a master craftsman. There's pros and cons to being a solopreneur that's an orchestra director. Some of the advantages of being a solopreneur that's an orchestra director is, yes, you're selling the job. Yes, you're ordering all the material. Yes, you're scheduling. You're doing all the project management. Yes, you're doing the quality control. And yes, you're doing the invoicing, et cetera, the accounts payable, accounts receivable. You're doing all those things. What you're not doing is the physical work. And some of the master craftsmen that are solopreneurs would say, well, that's a disadvantage. And I would say, as a solopreneur, that was an advantage for me. The disadvantage to that is I didn't have physical control over the craftsmen. I had to use 1099 subcontractors. But the advantage to that is that it wasn't me. It was somebody else, a subcontractor, that I would deploy to job sites to do the physical work. Today, I wanted to really emphasize the benefit of being a solopreneur that's an orchestra director. Is the advantage you have is you can't physically go do the work, which requires you to be very organized, right? So you can actually organize projects better, you can communicate better. That's a massive advantage. The disadvantage is you can't control the quality, right? So there's pros and there's cons to both of these. So as you start your business as a solopreneur with no employees, consider, are you going to be a solopreneur that's a master craftsman, or are you going to be a solopreneur that is an orchestra director?